Hi everybody, I'm the Trauma Mama Therapist, aka Lataya. I am a perinatal psychoeducator and researcher. I have a lot of lived experience with pregnancy and postpartum depression, which hence why I decided to get into this career field. So if you don't know me by now, this channel is going to be all about pregnancy loss, anything perinatal, a lot of mom life, and a lot of lived experience. And if you want to get a little bit more technical education, straight to the facts, you can go follow my Nurture for Moms page. If you are looking for more technical advice, more education advice, straight to the research advice, anything like that, you can go over to my Nurture for Moms page on YouTube, which is my maternal mental health agency, and it does a lot of education and straight to the point. But on here, we do a little bit of a mix of both, okay? Because your girl had a lot of lived experience, and I am so excited to just start talking about this, especially from not only a healed space, but an educated space. So in this video, I just want to talk about 3 things that I wish I knew when I was trying to get pregnant. So fun fact, okay, in case y'all get pregnant by mistake, 50% of pregnancies are not planned whatsoever. So it's funny because you think everybody's popping up pregnant, it must be easy to get pregnant, right? No, that couldn't be farther from the truth. My first thing that I wish I would have learned is that when you are trying to get pregnant, there's only a 25% chance that you are going to get pregnant even at your peak fertility. And if you have tried to get pregnant, you know that using ovulation tests, or if you're using your calendar and your phone where you tracking your cycle and you tracking your ovulation, or you just know your body and when it has, certain bodily symptoms. I'm not going to get all medical terms and everything, but you know what I mean. When you get to that point of ovulation, okay, it's time. It's still only a 25% chance of you getting pregnant. So a lot of moms are very shocked when they are actually trying to get pregnant that it's really actually not as easy as we thought it would be. Or at least that's what I thought. I thought everybody was popping up pregnant. So when I decided to get pregnant, it must be easy, right? However, no, that couldn't be further from the truth, especially with some people that I actually know close. The second thing is when I actually got pregnant, I wish I would have did way more emotional prepping. Now, some would say that it's not really likely that you can really prepare just like it is for kids. You can't really prepare for kids because you won't really know what you'll be dealing with until you get in that situation. But I do think that this is where the system fails us, which is why I got into this field. I think that a lot of women and couples and men even are not prepared for what it's actually like to be pregnant. When I got pregnant, finally, I experienced a range of mood disorders. I'm just going to start off with 2 because my pregnancy story it's a lot going on there. So, when I got pregnant, when I was actually trying, I experienced prenatal anxiety. Nobody could have prepared me for that because when you get pregnant, you just think that everything's going to be just happy and bubbles and great. But then you start downloading these apps. And then you also start to understand that other people, especially if you're a little later in life, like if you further than 25 where other people have gotten pregnant and you've seen things that happen to other people, you can suffer from anxiety from knowing the things that have happened in other pregnancies from other people. So again, that would kind of be like PTSD. But again, this channel is not for any diagnosing or anything, but I know for a fact, for me, I had prenatal anxiety before I even had a miscarriage because I was so scared every time I went to the bathroom and I wiped. I was nervous for the things that was going on in my body, the cramps, the random feelings that I had. I didn't want to sleep a certain type of way. And depending on the things that you've seen, you may even stop intimacy between you and your partner to just keep the baby safe, right? And of course, biologically, that can't physically be a possibility, but in your head, you just think, let me do all that I can to protect my baby. Another thing I experienced was prenatal depression. Now, this didn't necessarily show up until my 3rd pregnancy because I've been pregnant 4 times. Yes, I have a lot to say on these on everything pregnancy and postpartum, right? But for the sake of this story, I experienced prenatal depression, and I didn't really know that I was experiencing this until second trimester. And also after I got pregnant, when I became a perinatal mental health educator, I then started to understand that my lack of wanting to shower, I would be needing to shower, but wouldn't want to because I was working from home, or I would be home a lot. And I was just like, okay, I'll take a shower in a couple days. I mean, it's only been a couple days, whatever. I'm just going to the same place. I didn't really want to get myself ready. I was the person who got my nails done, my toes done, my hair done. I dress cute all of the time, but I didn't want to do any of that. I honestly just wanted to sleep my trimester away. And yes, a lot of that was the fact that when you're pregnant, you are extremely tired, which is going to go on to my next thing. But, and I would say that was a huge something I just did not know would hit me. So that was really something that was very unexpected. All of those emotions that came, the prenatal anxiety for no reason, the depression that came, it definitely hit me. The third thing I would say is, y'all, your girl was having an identity crisis, okay? A huge identity crisis, because pregnant Taya was exhausted. I was sleeping 12, 14 hours a day and still tired, okay? And I don't think a lot of women prepare for this, especially if you are somebody that's ambitious, you social, you're an extrovert. This can be very hard on you, because when you are so used to being outgoing and you used to being very ambitious and goal-oriented, that tiredness doesn't necessarily allow you to be who you truly are. Because you are, and let me tell you, I've experienced mom tired, I've experienced not pregnant tired, and that pregnancy tired is a different ball game. I would be taking naps at work. In the nursing room, I would be taking, like, as soon as I came home from like 5 o'clock, I would be asleep by 6 until the next day at 7:30 and still be kind of late to work. Like, it was very, very hard to have the adjustment. And I think with the prenatal depression being added, I definitely think I was just not myself. I had a huge identity crisis. And I know a lot of moms who I know personally experience, like, saying things like, I don't even know who I am. I don't feel like myself. And then when you're pregnant and you're going through your first trimester, due to like that prenatal anxiety and of course the things that people say, like, don't say anything until second trimester, you are extremely lonely. Like, you are hiding such a big part of yourself. You are forming a human, and you are scared to share this because of things that may have happened to you before or may not have happened to you before. So then you become lonely and isolated because this is something that is huge on your mind. You have all of the apps, you talking about it with your husband or your boyfriend or whatever. You're on Pinterest planning things, and you can't share this part of your life with your friends and family because of a possibility that is a huge possibility. Miscarriage is 1 in 4, and I know a lot of people don't really talk about it, but as somebody who had 2 miscarriages, I feel like it should be talked about, it should be discussed, and we definitely need some more mental health resources for it. If you are a mom that is going through any of these symptoms, and if you are going through other stuff, let me know in the comments, because you never know, I might have went through it or somebody else might have went through it and they can talk. I would encourage you to find a community. But when I say that, I want it to be with a grain of salt, because a lot of times we go to Facebook to find communities, and even in Facebook, some of those stories can traumatize us. Some of those things can scare us or give us anxiety, because again, 25% of pregnancies end up in a miscarriage or pregnancy loss. So if you're seeing that, you're going to get anxiety. Because it is a such thing as suffering from PTSD from seeing other people and things that other people have went through on TV with your family and friends is very traumatic. So when you are carrying a human, it is a very isolating experience, or can be, depending on your journey. And it's really important to do that emotional work before. And I'm not saying that you can heal yourself into making your pregnancy more peaceful. I'm saying that you need a community of people, not only a therapist, but maybe a support group. PSI has plenty of support groups. Nurture for Moms will start having support groups within a couple months, and I'll definitely let you guys know here. But having that support group, definitely educating yourself on the emotional side of things, because I don't think that it is the best idea to be Googling symptoms and diagnosing yourself in pregnancy. I think that we leave that up to the doctors, and of course we listen to our bodies and get checked out. So this is not medical advice, but I do think that when you have that anxiety, when you have that fear, when something is so new to you, you either go on two sides of the extreme. You completely ignore the possibilities. And then on the other side of the extreme is you over worry yourself, and it does become a not enjoyable experience. And we're not going to even talk about the morning sickness. That in itself is a hard thing to deal with. And for me, when I went through one of my pregnancies, my doctor advised me to not work out. And this is after I had lost weight. So this is actually the pregnancy I ended up gaining a lot of weight. But we can talk about pregnancy and what I experienced in pregnancy and the things that I would do now as a psychoeducator and a researcher differently. And maybe some of these things could help you. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe for more.